And we are live on Politics Nation. My name is Samuel Dankyi, coming to you live once again with a pre-debate conversation with my colleague Miss Angelic Woodings. How you doing, Miss Angelique?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Just excited for tonight. So let's first things first. What are your expectations for tonight? We're talking the vice presidential debate is on tonight, live from Utah. What are your expectations?
My expectations would like to see both sides really address some of the critical issues we have going on in our country. So things like jobs and, our health insurance and our economy. And I want to see actual plans, for what each party has in play for the upcoming year should they be elected.
Definitely. So I think we are all hoping that it's not as chaotic as the presidential debate, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, that because that was some drama, but getting into substantive issues here, right? Like you said, healthcare is on the line, the economy is on the line, the Supreme Court is on the line. I heard yesterday that two of the consecutive justices hinted that they want to revisit the issue of same-sex marriage. They think it's unconstitutional. So there's so much at stake here. But also talking about the healthcare, the health insurance, and all that. We know we are still in the midst of a global pandemic, right? And so with the COVID-19, and given that a lot of White House officials, including the president, have now tested positive for COVID. And so, how do you think that plays out in today's debate?
I think it's going to be addressed because, here we have a sitting president who was tested positive for COVID, who's currently sitting in the Oval Office today, right? I mean, and that really teeters on what messages he's sending out to us here in America. And it's also going to change, I think, how unsafe people can be and think, oh, well, it's not that big a deal. He got it, he's fine, he's out here with no mask. Sure, everyone's going to get sick, but I think the downfall of the swift recovery is the messages that are being sent is really, this is just not a big deal, when in fact it is.
It is really a big deal, like you rightly said, Miss Angelique, because throughout this whole pandemic, they've been trying to portray this, oh, everything is all right, even though over 200,000 people have died. The White House position has been, oh, this is just another, it's just like the flu, like they normally say. They walk around with no mask, breaking all sort of rules. Recently, as recent as I think 2 weeks ago, the president held a rally in Nevada against the rules for COVID over there. He's breaking rules in pretty much every city, every state that he goes with these mass rallies that he likes to hold. And even during the last debate, if you remember, pretty much everyone on the Biden side was very responsible and upheld the rules of the ground rules for the debate, right? Everyone in the auditorium was supposed to be in mask, but the Faz family and all the Trump cronies that came in there refused to wear masks. It's been reported that they were actually offered a mask because the Cleveland Clinic that was running the whole show wanted to make sure that everyone is in compliance, but they refused to wear masks. And now we have this dominoes effect where over, I think 24 is the current number count. People have tested positive. And I mean, speaking of people who have tested positive, I think per CDC rules, the vice president shouldn't be in Utah tonight. What do you think? He's supposed to be in self isolation, right?
Correct. And I think it's also important to keep in mind that Trump himself arrived too late to have COVID testing before the debate, right? So here we are with all of these issues. And I think one of the bigger challenges that we're having is the mixed signals, right? They're telling us to bunker down and stay home and wear masks, and we're not seeing family members. But then you've got people out doing these really large activities, I mean, in abundance. And, we're told, oh, you can't have a funeral for the people that you lose during this time. But when a prominent member of society passes away, we've got politicians on both sides gathering in large numbers, right? I think it's very contradictory. And the messages they're sending to us, I think is really what's contributing to the divide that we have. And I think that we're in a time where, like you and I, we're doing classes via Zoom. We're all learning to stay safe as much as we can. So what I don't understand is why we can't have these debates the same way much of the world is already trying to,
Exactly was the point I was making earlier today. Like, this should be done virtually, given the circumstances that we all find ourselves in, especially given that the vice president has been in contact with pretty much all these 24 people who have tested positive. And so it doesn't matter how many plastic glass they use. For me, it doesn't really matter. I'm told the 6 feet distance has been doubled, and so they're going to be 12 feet apart. All of that is cool, but ideally, this debate shouldn't be happening in person. I don't get the concept or the idea behind, oh, we have to necessarily be in Utah today when this can be done remotely, like everything else. The DNC held the what is it called? Their their event, right? The big event to announce their nominee, who is the Vice President Biden. The whole DNC national convention was done virtually. A lot is
Mhm.
being done virtually. Schools, churches, funeral, wedding, everything is being done virtually. So why does this debate necessarily have to be done live in person? Especially, again, knowing that the Vice President, Mike Pence, has been in close proximity, or at least he's been in events where most of these people who have tested positive now were also present, right? So it doesn't
Right.
matter that he tested positive, he tested negative yesterday, or he tested negative this morning. This still makes no sense, right? It makes no sense. So, quickly, as we are wrapping up, who do you think is going to come up victorious tonight?
I think it's really hard to say. Um, I think both Pence and Harris, they're both phenomenal speakers. I think they both know what they have, going in, especially with the outcome of, the first debate. So I really think that they're both going to do a good job at hopefully coming in and really staying on course. Harris, as good as she is at speaking, occasionally can go off course. So I feel like that's one thing that could work against her with Pence. But then again, I really am just hoping to see both sides really come forward and say what their plan is for our nation, because I think that more than anything is the most important thing going forward.
Definitely, and I think I would also go on record and saying that I think Senator Harris should really dominate tonight because the vice president really doesn't have any message tonight, in my opinion. The president and pretty much the White House is now like the most or safest place to be at the moment, right? So
Right.
how do you defend this record? And given that he is actually in charge of the coronavirus task force, so what work have they done? How do you defend this record? If it's about the economy, just yesterday, a tweet from Trump sent the stocks like down the drain, you know. So I don't know what magic is going to pull, but I guess we're going to have to wait and see. And so thank you so much, Miss Angelique. And this has been Politics Nation, pre-debate discussions. And hopefully we will be back after the debate to give you our thoughts and what we think went on. So unless you have something to add, we will wrap up on this episode. And thank you all for watching. We will come your way. We'll be coming back your way in a little bit.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Bye bye.